Sometimes, most times, we really don't know how close we are to the next thing. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm not feeling the best because lately it feels like I've just been going through the motions. And that doesn't feel good. It's like I know what my goals are, I know what I'm out to accomplish. I know what I'm working towards, but somehow I feel like I'm not seeing the progress. It gets to a point where it messes us up a little. Those who can relate are who I'm talking to. It messes us up a little when you are doing inner work and it is slow to catch up to your outer world. And so looking around some days, I feel self-growth. I feel like I have committed to that and I have been growing and I have been showing up for myself in all ways. But sometimes I look around at the physical things and then I tend to get a little overwhelmed or overstimulated because I feel like my physical world is not matching my inner world. And that is what is messing with me today. I'm an Aries moon, so progress and productivity can be determined by the physical a lot. And I always have to talk myself down on days when I am not physically productive. And on my mental days where there's more mental work required, more inner work required, or the days where I just feel called to sit with myself, to be still, and to not try to force anything. Those days are difficult for me. I've gotten a lot better at being still when I do feel called and not trying to force my creativity. And I don't like to do that anyway. And I feel like forcing it creates blockages for me anyway. So I've gotten a lot better at sitting with myself when necessary. But it's still challenging in a world where we are taught to constantly produce, in a world where the physical means everything, not even in a good way. Nothing looks good right now to me. Nothing is really appealing. And so going inward has really been more of an escape for me. Going inward, it really has helped me sitting with myself, listening to myself, and even feeling the weight of what's going on around me, what is going on in this world. That solitude, being your own company, it really does help and bring a sense of peace, that stillness. But that is also why it feels like nothing is being done sometimes and nothing is moving sometimes, because inner work really has nothing to do with the physical, and it actually really doesn't care about lavish and luxe things and the glitz and the glamour and all of that. However, I want nice things. I want to always have nice things, and my human self can acknowledge that. I want to be able to do what I want to do. I want to be able to move in this world freely. I want to feel like I can spread my wings and fly, even if I can't. And some days I feel like that, and some days I don't. Today is one of those days. Today is one of those days where I am questioning, when will I be able to spread my wings and fly? Today is one of those days. And I try not to have these days. I actually don't like these days because I don't like to question it. I feel like that's not my place. I don't like to feel like I'm being negative, because that's not what I'm trying to do. And I do trust the process. I trust the process. I have faith. And I know everything I want will happen. I know everything I want is happening. I guess some days it's just a little harder to see. Some days I'm like, God, I've seen what you have done for others. Hello. Am I next in line? Have you forgotten? Hello. I talk to you every day. Me and God have gotten so close. So, some days I just be a little confused. But you can't forget your why you started. That's my reminder, my humbling reminder. Why I start any creative project. Why am I a writer? Why I love writing. My why. I remind myself because none of it is connected to the physical things. I remind myself of my why because I didn't start creating for attention. I didn't start creating for money. I didn't start creating for accolades. I started creating because I just knew how to. I've been creative since a kid. My imagination has always been its own world, and I love it there. And that's where little Charity is. I love meeting her there, and she'll give me some inspo real quick. It wasn't until I got big, a big age, becoming more aware of the world and the economy and figuring out and finding out that everything is not free, that I realized jobs existed. And then eventually I realized that, I can actually do what I love as my job and make money from it. And then you quickly realize that this is not an easy path. You quickly realize that the creative path, the authentic path, is not easy, and it is not for the weak. And an artist's journey comes with many highs and lows and can sometimes feel unpredictable. And it really is. And you have to be okay with that. And I don't know who need to hear this, but go ahead and log out, because comparison is the thief of joy. When I'm not in a good space, I don't even log on social media, even though I feel like I have successfully trained my algorithm to show me the content that feeds me and fuels me, and people who inspire me, or people who are speaking about things that I want to hear, people who are standing for something, for things that I stand for. And so that's what I want to see when I get on any social media platform that I have. However, it's still important to log out, because you'll have all these people sowing seeds into you, into your spirit, into your mind, pouring into you when you haven't poured into yourself. They filling you up with stuff that you probably haven't even thought about, probably haven't even formed your own perspective on yet. It's so important to find your voice outside of others. It's very important to find your path apart from someone else's, because your path is your purpose. And that's why I have to remind myself that this is much bigger than my career, because that is what I will quickly make it about, my career, and advancing in that, growing in my career. And sometimes I even have to catch myself when it comes to my self-work, that I'm not working on me just for my career. This is all about my purpose, getting closer to God and getting closer to Charity, learning how to love me, like me at all stages, phases, and levels that I am on, that I am reaching. And so though this current little phase I'm in, it has been very eye-opening, and it has been all about me. It's been very personal, very intimate, very sacred, very closed off to the outside world, really. I've really been in hermit mode, and so I've been getting to know myself outside of chasing a career. When I started doing that, I started to get to know my body And then I started to learn more about health, and specifically what I need to be healthy, what I need to maintain my health, and eating right, the proper consumption, and just overall tending to my physical vessel. So my path, our paths are so broad, but still so specific to us and our creation. And your path is your purpose, and you can't forget that. And so when you are paying attention to someone else's path, please understand you are only seeing a peak of it. You're only seeing a crumb of someone else's path, because there's so much. It's more than a career. It's more than health. It's mind, body, soul, spirit, everything. It's all of who you are, and you are going to attract whatever you are going to attract based on who you are. I'm a firm believer in you are who you attract, or you are what you attract. I think, the people and the things we attract at certain levels can really be telling, can really show us a lot about ourselves. And so be open to that. When you only focus on just one part of it, just a little piece of your path, you are neglecting your purpose, your overall. Focusing on one part, it'll make you miss what's happening in the other parts, the other areas in your life that you are not paying attention to, that you're not showing up for. And I had to take a step back and realize that, thinking that, I'm doing something by applying myself to my career every day. But I was missing the health. I was missing the mental health and the physical health. And then I got serious about those, and suddenly, my world really started opening up. Everything got brighter and broader. Everything got bigger. And that's, when I realized that this isn't just about one thing. And so when you're expecting something from one thing, you're forgetting that maybe there's another area that needs your attention right now, that is required for you to receive that one thing that you are looking for. Check in with yourself every single day. Pay attention to whatever comes up or shows up for you. And maybe that's exactly what needs most of your attention that day. So I have pulled cards from the Secret deck. As you all know, I pull cards from this deck often. It is called The Secret. It goes with the book called The Secret. And I usually pull one card, but 3 popped out the deck, and so I went with it. So the first card is Believe You Have Received. It takes no time for the universe to manifest what you want. Anytime delay you experience is due to you getting to the place of believing, knowing, and feeling that you already have it. It's you getting yourself on the frequency of what you want. When you are on that frequency, then what you want will appear. I love that because it's all about alignment. You can't only want something, but you have to be in alignment with it. Does what you want match your surroundings? Does what you want match your work ethic? Does what you want match your physical productivity? Does what you want match your healing work? Does what you want match your self-love, your confidence? Who are you versus what do you want? It really is about mindset. And so having faith and believing that the things you want, everything you want is yours. All you have to do is show up. All you have to do is be exactly who you are. That's the work. Showing up for yourself and being there for yourself. Wake up every day choosing you, giving yourself the best of you, loving yourself with all of you and putting you first. Having self-respect. That's what's really going to get it. That's what's really going to get you to where you want to be. being who you need to be for it. All you have to do is be yourself. So the second card that came out is perfect health is yours. The path to eradicating disease is not to fight it. You get what you focus on. So if your focus is on fighting the disease, you will attract more of that. Keep your mind focused on health and well-being in your thoughts and words, and imagine yourself completely healthy and well. That is such the perfect card to follow, believe you have received. Perfect health is yours. This is all about belief and focusing on the things you want to happen, focusing on the positive. If you don't know what you want, then you are probably only thinking about what you don't want. And only thinking about what you don't want is still going to attract it. And so sit with yourself, get a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil and write down what you want. If you need to think about it first, think about it. But write it down and make it plain so it is yours. And so you have something to look at every day, your reminder. And don't forget to include your why. When you think about what you want and where you want to be and what you want to attract, and you stay focused on those things, the positive things, you'll start to wake up and automatically want to get to it. You'll start to work with what you have, making do with what you have, because you have a vision and you can see it plain and clear, and that's what you're working towards. And so you start to use what you have to slowly work towards that. And I've mentioned before, but using what you have already will always get you more. And so ask yourself each day, what can you do? Anything in your power, in your control, what can you do today to get you one step closer? And the last card is money doesn't bring happiness, but happiness brings money. If you keep thinking that you need money, then you will keep attracting needing money. You have to find a way of being happy now, of feeling good now, of being in joy now, without the money, because those great feelings are what attracts money. Come on, that being the last card. I love when the synchronicities are syncing, honey. I love when it's all there, because what I've been talking about this whole time, those 3 cards just summed it up. The inner work, being focused on yourself, being happy. What makes you happy? Just like, what do you want? What makes you happy? Think about it and write it down. What brings you joy and peace? And what keeps you in love with who you are? How do you show up for yourself? How do you love yourself? What actions do you take? What are the small things you do? The same way you'll be in a relationship and you'll go out of your way to show your partner that you love them. You'll cater to them. You'll do certain things to let your partner know how much you love them. What do you do for yourself to do that same thing, to provide that feeling of security and comfort within who you are? Feeling safe and seen by you. How do you do that? How do you acknowledge yourself? All of that matters, and it all starts with us as individuals. The work we do on ourselves will always reflect the outside. Now, some people look good but don't got nothing. And you find that out as soon as you get to know them. And sometimes you don't even have to get to know them. You can just see it or smell it. It's a feeling, honey. Trust your intuition, okay? Yes, we all want money. Look at this world. Yes, we want money, but in a world where everybody is chasing the bag, Chase yourself and let the bag chase you. And it will. When you show up for yourself, you invest in yourself, and you start applying the lessons you've learned, the bag will definitely start chasing you. Don't make your life about money. Don't think that money can bring you happiness, or you will be in a constant state or the constant position to have to get some money. You will always feel like you need money to be happy if you feel like you really need money to make you happy. And because you probably don't have much right now or the amount that you would like, you are probably unhappy. But you waking up every day with purpose, and you're choosing to ignore your purpose because you don't have no money. And you're choosing to ignore your own personal happiness and joy because you don't have any money. But what you will always have is yourself. Who you will always have is yourself. So allow yourself to be everything that you need. And that's where I'm going to leave it. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say today. Thank you for listening. I love you. I'm here if you need me. Comment, DM me, whatever you need to do if you need somebody to talk to. You got me. So I love you. Have a blessed rest of your day, and I'll be chatting with y'all in the next